The world of Fortnite is close to doomsday, and it's up to us to stop it, or detonate it. There's a lot of moving puzzle pieces in the Fortnite storyline that are incredibly hard to connect with the information in-game right now. Luckily, in-game isn't the only place we're looking. We've analyzed every leak, string of code, Easter egg, secret, and more to create a telescope to the future to see what happens to the Fortnite universe. Spoiler, it doesn't look pretty. The island is going to be flooded with some locations fully submerged, wiped away forever. Chaos Agent is alive and he's ready to finish the war. The engineer that's in Midas's office finally reveals herself in Season 3, with everything beginning to collapse under the leader of Ghost. Welcome to the future of Fortnite. Okay, let's step back for a minute and give a little context. I'll keep this short and sweet, but pay attention, this part is important. You might be familiar with our video we posted last week. We covered all types of Season 3 leaks, including one being about a new mysterious POI called the Plaza. The very next day, it was released. We also covered Season 3's theme being underwater and rideable sharks as vehicles. Same story, posters revealed in-game all point to these leaks being true. Picture this video like a bridge. We have two sides built, the beginning and end, but obviously we're missing the most important part, the middle. It's finally time we show you our weeks of research so you can help us connect the bridge, starting with the future. As we all know from the Season 3 leaks, the next island theme will be water related, meaning we're getting a great flood that will submerge a good portion of the map in water. It's important to note that not the entire map will be flooded, but only certain POIs. With that said, we assume that most of these locations will be floating. I know that sounds kinda confusing, so let me explain. Around the island, at this very second, there are signs popping up advertising no sweat insurance. And we believe that it'll be these POIs which are protected from the Great Flood. The ones without the insurance signs, on the other hand, won't have the same fate. They'll be submerged underwater while the ones covered by no sweat insurance will be saved and become floating versions in Season 3. By this logic, Holly Hedges, Sweaty Sands, Pleasant Park, Frenzy Farm, and Lazy Lake will be floating in Season 3. The rest, well, pay your respects while you can. We also know from leaks that Shadow is going to be taking over the agency in the future, as seen in this leaked image of the agency that's completely overtaken by Shadow. They could even go as far as to replace the Midas statue with a Chaos Agent one. We know from leaks that all the Midas statues will be removed. In Season 3, it's also been noted that the engineer is going to be a Battle Pass skin. She's the woman who could be found on Midas's desk that people are speculating is either Midas's wife or daughter. That's one thing we don't know yet. Somehow Meowscles is going to lose most of his body. With sharks being introduced in Season 3, it looks like Meowscles might turn into like a delicious snack or during the agency storming battle. Get this, apparently a new style of him being replaced as a robot is also expected in Season 3. We're assuming the engineer is gonna give him like a robotic body instead to keep him alive. Welcome to Fortnite Season 3, where sharks are eating gigantic cats, the agency is controlled by Shadow, and literal towns are floating in the ocean of a map we've called home since October. Oh yeah, and those sharks are rideable. It's weird to think that this is where we'll be in less than a month, but the question is, how do we get there from here, and where exactly is here? Let's take a step back and cover the story so far. Since Chapter 2 began, there has been a secret organization on the island called Shadow. The leader of Shadow is a guy named Chaos Agent who is this evil mastermind that is constantly doing science experiments that, well, never really work. Chaos Agent owns Kevolution Energy, who we suspect was the company that made Kevin the Cube in the first place and sent him to the Chapter 1 island all those seasons ago. We know that Chaos Agent works out of Steamy Stacks and Slurpy Swamps. Somehow, he knew about the Zero Point, the thing that blew up our old island, and during the end event, the visitor found out someone, somewhere, was experimenting with it, so they sent a scout team to the island to investigate it. This is Ghost. Ghost investigates the Chapter 2 island, which is one of the many alternate versions of the Chapter 1 island. They find that the alternate versions of themselves on this island are members of Shadow, the people who are tinkering with the Zero Point, so they wage battle against them to stabilize the universe and, prevent this from happening again. Here's the thing, they realize really quick they won't be able to win this battle alone. Because of this, they approach Midas, the leader of a neutral spy agency who has existed on the island for many years. Midas joins Ghost to help them in the fight against Shadow, and the members of the agency, aka the Season 2 Battle Pass skins, pick their side in the war. Throughout Season 2, these organizations both attempt to conquer the map for their own reasons. As the war drags on, Ghost constantly loses ground to Shadow, first by losing the grotto, then the oil rig. While all of this is happening, it's revealed to the players that Midas has been working on a secret device in his room. We know this as the Doomsday device. Many of his own agents or shadow agents begin to discover his doomsday plan, but before they're able to expose him, he defeats them and takes their helmets as trophies. This includes the leader of Shadow, Chaos Agent. We also learn that Midas gained his power of the Golden Touch by stealing it from an ancient god called Oro. Oro is imprisoned at the Shark after Midas takes his powers, and we know this based on the dates from the calendar on the wall, paired with the new powerless Oro skin variant. Man, Midas did him dirty. Immediately after the Travis Scott event came to an end, Chaos Agent was actually re-added into the item shop with a featured image of him with no mask on, proving that Midas didn't in fact kill him. He also has a new member of Shadow called Rue, who looks pretty ruthless. Okay, I gotta stop with that. Heading back to Midas's doomsday device, the mysterious hatches around the agency have started to glow ominously. Anyone who's aware of Midas's plans are either locked up, MIA, or are still gathering intel, as seen by Agent Peely. With the uncursed Oro skin, the alternative style of Chaos Agent, and a leaked skin that proves Lynx has gone into hiding after discovering Midas's plans, there's a lot of dots to connect. Knowing what's happened so far and linking it with what's going to happen in the future may spell out the storyline as we know it. There's a huge puzzle at play, and now that we understand the past and the distant future, we think we've finally pieced together what everyone has been wondering. The unknown. With the no sweat insurance signs potentially telling us which POIs are going to be saved in Season 3 from the Great Flood, a fellow creator, Murrow, created a concept to show what an accurate representation of Season 3 will look like based off of our current understanding. This could very well change, but it establishes something that's been bothering me for a while. What can we gather from this and what's happened so far? Let me explain everything in these important theories. With Shadow taking over most of the outposts around the map and Ghost being backed into a literal corner of what is pretty much just the agency, it seems that Midas's last resort to destroy Shadow could actually be to flood the map. Kinda obvious, but it's possible that Midas's doomsday device isn't to destroy the map because he's evil, but because he needs to do it in order to win the war. Hear me out. Look at what Shadow has taken over on the map right now. They own Slurpy Swamps, Steamy Stacks, Dirty Docks, the Grotto, and the Rig. Notice what all of these places have in common? None of these locations are covered by no sweat insurance, and if you check that old map concept, none of these are supposed to survive the Great Storm. We also know from leaks that there is some kind of Storm the Agency challenges, and Shadow will be taking it over. So it makes sense that Midas might have the idea of, well, if I can't win, no one will, and he will flood the map out of vengeance to take out all of Shadow's outposts. That's one big theory to pay attention to, though. Let's say that Midas is evil, and he does have a secret plan to bring Doomsday on the map. This ties into... So upon Shadow storming the agency and taking it over, Midas actually attempts to detonate the Doomsday device. Our working theory is that the Doomsday device will actually harness the power of the storm, and it could just be a single piece of the puzzle. Let me remind you that Midas also owns Oro's staff, as well as a secret outfit in his office I haven't seen anyone talking about. This outfit is very similar to the Tempest costume, which helps Tempest wield the power of the storm. It's also titled Hurricane, and we feel that this will be an important part in the ending of Season 2. It's clear that Midas is either going to use this Hurricane outfit and Oro's staff to wield the power of the storm, or something even more devastating. What if Midas is going to use the Doomsday device to create a storm so powerful that it will rain enough to flood the entire map for Season 3? He needs this Hurricane suit and Oro's staff in order to control the storm and make sure it's as powerful and accurate as he needs it to be. Don't forget there's the engineer's journal in the office, which we were the first to find, which shows the Doomsday device, Oro's pickaxe, and a storm all being connected, further proving our theory. We also know from leaks that Meowscles is going to lose his body and get rebuilt as a robot. Personally, my money is on him being eaten by a shark in the Season 3 cinematic trailer, and the engineer builds him a new robot body, kinda similar to the whole P1000 Peely skin. From this, we could also kind of guess that the engineer is going to be the one who builds the rideable sharks in Season 3 as a way to traverse around the new flooded island. But will the sharks be rideable through a mind-controlling harness, or will they be robotic? Interesting to think about, but not as interesting as the Steamy Stacks meltdown. So Steamy Stacks is in a pretty low position on the map, and we don't see a single no sweat insurance sign anywhere nearby. If our guess is right and Steamy Stacks gets flooded in Season 3, what will end up happening? Don't forget, it's a literal power plant, so it's very possible that this place could have a meltdown and explode, or it could just leak out radiation into the surrounding area. And on the topic of areas being flooded, it seems that the Grotto might actually get saved, as a leak from an upcoming LTM shows a closed version of the hole on the cliff. Here's just a little fun fact, it's actually possible that Epic has been hinting the flooded island theme ever since Chapter 2 began all those months ago. Next to the dam, there were a ton of houses that spelt out the word Noah, and as you know, Noah is a character in the Bible who had to save thousands of animals from the Great Flood, which wiped out a ton of the planet. My opinion, Epic probably wouldn't just write the word Noah for no reason, especially next to a dam, so was this a clue to the flood all along? I mean, I don't know, but it's not really relevant right now. A lot of this storyline seems crazy, but you have to remember the bigger picture at play. The visitors, the Zero Point, Kevin the Cube, the Butterfly Rift Dimension. These things haven't gone away, and the only lead we have right now to all this is the Bushranger's secret. In the Season 2 opening cinematic, we learn that the agency has actually existed for a long time, considering Lynx and Bushranger are confirmed members of the agency. It's also confirmed by the fact that Bushranger himself has been stalking Ghost and Shadow much longer than we expected. If you go all the way back to Season 1 and look at the 8-Ball vs. Scratch loading screen, you'll realize something that's been in front of us this whole time. Look in the forest, you can actually spot Bushranger secretly watching the pair in the background. It's likely that Bushranger reported this back to Midas and the agency in the first place, which is how Midas knew about Ghost and Shadow to begin with. In the Season 2 trailer, you can even spot Bushranger doing his own little research in the infamous tree carvings which show the Seven, Deadpool, and a whole lot more. It looks like he cares way more about the bigger picture here, and I think we all should too. While we haven't connected every single dot here, we're gonna learn a lot more about this in the next update, which is 12.60 coming next Wednesday. The island is in peril, absolute destruction is impending, and we've been left to fend for ourselves. Where are the visitors? Will they save us when Midas and Chaos Agent eventually take this war way too far? Will the island and the Fortnite universe change forever? Stick around and subscribe, we're all in this together. Huge thanks to Fort Tory and GameShed John for helping us with this video. We couldn't have made it without them. This has been Tommy, keep it here, Top 5 Gaming.